Please welcome Jeroen Glissenaar.
Welcome in my park. I'm Jeroen, and I'm the forester of Park Sonsbeek for almost 24 years. And of course, I'm not the owner of the park. The park is for all the people. I'm just a forester. And one of the reasons that I became a forester was my grandfather. My grandfather works his whole life on a farm. And he thought it was a right for every child to play in nature. But my father and mother work at an office, so he thought it was his responsibility to teach his grandson how to play in nature. So every summer, he took me on his moped, and we go into the open fields, to the forest, to the ocean. And there he learned me how to catch a frog, how to jump over water, how to climb in a tree, and what to do when you get stuck in the tree. And those memories are still my best memories of my childhood. And I remember our last trip, and we're going to the ocean, and the moped of my grandfather was broken. And he tried to fix it. And I was standing, and I looked at the ocean, and I saw the sun going down, and I heard the seagulls, and I smelled the salty air, and I thought, whoa, this is really beautiful. And then I looked at my left, and I looked at my right, and there was nobody there. I was the only one enjoying this spectacle. And that is still my motivation when I became a forester in the Sonsbeek Park. And Sonsbeek Park is a little bit a strange park, a ridiculous park. It all started with the family Hartjes in 1645, and they thought, we are the owner of this hill and the ground around it. If we build a house on it, it maybe will be financially attractive. And it was. When they built the house, they sell it for 7,000 guilder. Nowadays, that will be 1 million euro. And the second family who came to live on the land was the family from Hakeren. And it's an important family because they designed the landscape around in the English landscape. And they were very rich, and they used the park like a status symbol. For example, the landlord saw in Austria a waterfall, and he thought, I want to have a waterfall. Build a waterfall for me in the park, and it's still here in the park. But that waterfall was, that time, 70,000 gulden. And a year payment from somebody who works on the land was 40 gulden a year. So it was a ridiculous high amount of money just to show off. He also was fighting with Napoleon. And when he was fighting with Napoleon, he found a little tree, a Caucasian wingnut. It's a tree that grows in the swamp. And he bring it back to the park and plant it over here. And when he was with his friends in the park, he go to the Caucasian wingnut just to tell that he was fighting with Napoleon. And Napoleon was a friend. So he really needs the park to tell the story of how good it was with him. The second generation of Van Hakeren has two big problems. One, they are not rich enough to pay the tax anymore to the Netherlands. And the second problem was they have the nephew living here on the estate. And the nephew was famous in Arnhem because with every farmer's daughter in the area, he had a child. And on Sunday morning, he held big parties and orgies where the woman drove naked on the horses. And whole Arnhem speaks scandal of it, but whole Arnhem was looking in the bushes. And at that time, the government said, with a little help from the churches, we declare him crazy, and he have to go. And the family have to sell the land. In the same time, at 1899, we have a director, the heer Verteller, in Arnhem. And he has a problem also. Arnhem was not a popular city to live. There were no rich people, there were no important people with influence, and there were no people with grandeur. And he thought, when we can buy the park and give it directly to the city, it may help the city Arnhem. There was one problem. The amount of money they need to buy the park was 1 million gulden. And the total budget the city of Arnhem had in 1899 was 2 million gulden. So we have to convince the boarder that they need the half of all their money to buy the park. It was an idiot idea, but it worked brilliant. At the moment they buy the park and they give it to the city, you see that around the park people want to live. They're building houses, they're building schools, they're building theaters, and Arnhem has grandeur. And the park is one of the most important reasons. And if you look nowadays at the park, you see the heart of the center of your city. And this is a ridiculous situation. Nowhere you have on your most valuable ground an open field. 60 hectares of nature. And if you look carefully in the park, you will see the kingfisher fly around. And on a beautiful day, the people come in from the town into the park, 3,000-4,000 people. That's no problem. Normally, you have here your business center or your high economic buildings, but we have still an open park. And what the Miss Telken couldn't know then was that Arnhem is become a city like many cities in Europe, like many cities in the world. And we all have the same problems. We have the heating problem of our city. We have the stress problem. Many people on a small place all living together. And we have the problem of social poorness. We don't know anymore who living next to us. And what this Mr. Telken couldn't know then is that the park also gives solutions for that. And that is the great thing and amazing thing of Park Sonsbeek. If you look over here, you see the heat map of the city of Arnhem. And the red spots is the most heated areas. It's not healthy to live. And you see in the middle, you see a big green area. That's the park. But around the park, you see that the area is yellow and orange. And that means that it's good to live. The park works like a green ecosystem. At the warm daytime, the hot air from the city go into the park. And at night, the cold air will roll down the hill into the city. And that makes it for the people to live around the park even a better place to live. And we all know the stress problems. Many people have stress, and one of the magnificent things the park can offer you is just put on your sneakers or your hiking shoes and go into the park. If you take a walk from 1.5 hours, your brain will help you to organize all your thoughts. And when you come home at 1 hour walk, you feel happier and you feel opener. It even works as a medicine. If you are depressed and you take medicine for it, you can try to stop the medicine and go for a walk every day for 1 hour. And you will notice that you feel better and you don't need the medicines anymore. And now I hear you think, is that possible for every city? Is it possible for every city to have a park like this? I really think it is. You only need 10% of your space from your city. For example, if you are planning to build 100 houses, and instead of that you build 19 houses, so 10% less, and the money and the space you use to make a beautiful landscape, a beautiful park, then you will see that after 30 years, when the next generation will come to live over there, the houses, the prices are going up. The social class is going up. But the people living around the park are happier, are healthier, and knowing each other. And knowing each other is one of my personal favorites of the Park Sonsbeek. At a beautiful day, there are 10,000 people in the park, all voluntary, and all stay there for 3 or 4 hours. Staying in the park, walking with each other, telling about problems, laughing, eating together in the park, dancing in the park, and sometimes even kissing in the park. All free, a gift from the park to the city. And I know and I understand, and gladly there is a lot of notice for green in living areas. And we all know vegetables in school gardens. We all know green roofs. We all know urban green guerrilla. But if you take the whole city, that are just little spots. Very good spots and very important spots, and we really need them. But if you want to heal your city, if you want to make your city a better place, a happier place, and a healthier place, give them a park as Park Sonsbeek. Two days ago, I was standing outside the White House, where we are standing now, and I look to the park, and I look to the left, and I saw 10, 20, 30, 40, maybe 100 people, and I look to the right, so 200, 300 people. They all were enjoying the park. They all were enjoying the environment and enjoying each other. And then I thought, whoa, I'm not alone anymore.